Welcome to the Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast with Forrest Kelly.
We head to the city that is known as Nation's Horse and Hunt Capital for its fox hunting, steeplechases, and large estates. Our 35th president, John F. Kennedy, built a 167-acre ranch just outside Middleburg, Virginia.
The Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast.
Hi, this is Melanie from Cana Vineyards and Winery in Middleburg, Virginia. The original owners named the winery after Cana of Galilee, where Jesus performed his first miracle and turned water into wine.
Okay, so your title position at the winery is what?
I am the winemaker and vineyard manager and wholesale department, inventory, whatever else might need to be done.
There's some different titles in there because usually they stop right after winemaker.
Yeah, no. Oh, I'm the entire cellar team too. So anybody that you might see working in a cellar, if you want to throw that title towards me, that would be appropriate as well. We're a pretty small production. I do about 2,500 to 3,000 cases a year. And I do have crew help in my vineyard, but in the cellar, it is just me.
So let's get a little background on you. Did you go to college?
I did. I have a master's in physical therapy.
Oh. Testing, is this on physical therapy?
Yes, that is my first career.
Okay, so you jumped into that, and then where did the transition happen from that to becoming where you are now?
Right, it's not a seamless transition. Come on now. You know, it's so interesting around here in Virginia. We're getting to the point where you will see winemakers that this is their first career, but you know, my group, my crew, most of us, you can say, oh, so what did you do first? And we all have our own stories. So yeah, I was a physical therapist for about 8 years. I traveled kind of around the country doing that, worked in lots of different settings. I really liked my job. I found wine and, you know, I tasted it in some of the other areas. I worked in the country and then I started reading books and, you know, I took a continuing education class and thinking this is just a hobby. This is something I do in my free time. And, you know, it's pretty cool. I like it. You know, I did buy like a textbook from the bookstore and just read it for fun. So I should have known something was up, but, you know, and then I moved to Virginia in 2006. And I think that's where everything really kind of started coming together because I moved to wine country. I grew up in New Jersey. I didn't grow up with a family where there was wine on the table. So it's not anything I could have seen sooner. It couldn't have been a first career for me. It's just nothing I knew anything about until later. So I landed in Virginia. I was still a physical therapist. I started working in a tasting room on the weekends just to get a little closer. I mean, the itch, like it was just an interest, but it was something that was tugging so hard that I couldn't keep it to the side in my spare time anymore. So I knew I had to make a change. I was close to getting that degree in wine. So I looked at Fresno State out there on the West Coast by you, and I was about to go back to school. Mind you, I did just pay off my first 2 degrees about 2 years ago, so I would have been in debt still if I did that. I almost did. I met a winemaker around here in Loudoun County. His name is Doug Fabioli. And he said, okay, that's one path you could take. He's like, but you don't have to. I was like, oh, well, this other winemaker where I was working in the tasting room told me I had to. That was the only way to get there. I was like, oh, I think that's what I'm going to do. I was smart enough to sit down with him one day and say, all right, what do you mean I don't have to? He said, yeah, just start working in the cellar. So the great thing about that first career being physical therapy is that there was tons of work. I went per diem and I could get 3 or 4 days of work every week. It was always there for me. So I had a way to pay my bills, get by, working 3 or 4 days a week. And then 3 days a week, I could intern and apprentice and kind of learn from there.
When did you make actually the transition and go from doing per diem on the physical therapy, both feet are into the wine business?
Yeah, so it was September of 2009 that I started my half and half world, where I'd wake up every day and say, okay, who am I today? I did that for 2 years. And at first it was easy enough to do, but towards the end of it, man, it got tough. And if I had to wake up and be like, oh, it's a physical therapy day, I'd be pretty disappointed because I was ready to be in wine. So it was September, it was the harvest of 2011 that I went full time.
In part 2, we will continue our interview with Melanie of Cana Vineyards of Middleburg, Virginia, and we learn that getting what you want requires some sacrifice.
Probably a 50% pay cut.
The Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast.
Don't forget my favorite part.
Please like and follow. Oh,